Blessings and welcome. I am at St. Andrews, Newfoundland. Today's worship is going to be a little different. As you can see, I'm not in front of a green screen. I'm really here. I am just returning from General Assembly via Newfoundland. General Assembly was tiring but fantastic. Some really important things happened at it. First of all, we had installed Reverend Mary Fontaine as moderator, and that is big news. Here's a little video to explain why. Something fantastic has just happened at the Presbyterian Church in Canada. We installed the first Indigenous person as moderator of our General Assembly. Moderator for us is like the Pope for Canadian Presbyterians. She will moderate our annual meeting and then will represent our denomination for the next year, traveling the country and meeting with churches. It was wonderful to see Indigenous elements used in her installation, such as smudging, drumming, and gifting a ceremonial blanket, among other things. Reverend Mary Fontaine is originally from Saskatchewan and is founder of Hummingbird Ministries in Vancouver. She has done amazing work, both with Indigenous communities, but also helping the rest of the Presbyterian Church in Canada live into our commitments to reconciliation. This honor is well deserved and overdue. Mary's leadership is such a blessing to the Church and is sure to help as we walk together in ministry with Indigenous Canadians. Mary was very gracious as a moderator. In many Indigenous communities, lots of time and space is given when discussing ideas. White Canadian Presbyterians tend to want to move business quicker and debate points of order, but that's not Mary's way. And she set a very calm and patient atmosphere that gave people time to talk, even if they were out of order. And in the end, everything ended on time with all of our work completed. Another important item at our General Assembly was the Special Committee on Racism. I was honored to be a member of that committee, and we listened to the experience of those who had been racialized, and from that, crafted this confession. As part of our worship today, we are going to pray that confession together. For some, it might be a bit confusing, so I want to give a few points of explanation. On the floor of General Assembly, one person stood up and asked, "Why should I confess if I haven't done anything racist?" And there are two reasons to confess. First, that it is part of our tradition for an individual to confess and repent on behalf of the whole. In the Old Testament, the prophets would call Israel to repent, and it wasn't that every Israelite had wandered away from God, but it was the responsibility of every Israelite to confess and repent on behalf of the whole nation. So perhaps you haven't done anything racist ever. Perhaps you've been a victim of racism yourself. But even still, on behalf of the church to which we belong, we confess. And secondly, we confess because we probably are racist. If you grew up in Western culture, you were raised in a system of white supremacy. You and I participated in that system. And if you look white like me, well, then you've benefited from that system. It doesn't matter if I did anything intentionally racist, because I have no doubt I have unintentionally harmed people. We are called to be anti-racist, to repent and oppose racism actively. So this confession is one step in that transformational process of changing our whole society. The prayer we're going to have is long, as it needs to be, but please pray it with open hearts, knowing that confession like this will help bring healing and brings us into truer alliance with the nature of God's love.